Hey, what's going on, guys? TayJay Productions here. Today I'm in Evansville, Indiana to go over the history of Kmart in this city. Did you guys know there was 3 Kmarts here in Evansville? Well, today we're gonna go over each one of them, and as you can see behind me, I am at the very first one that opened up in Evansville. We're gonna deep dive into the history of these 3 Kmart locations, talk about what happened, and explore them if there's anything to explore. So let's get into it, guys. So this Kmart opened in the rapid mid-20th century nationwide expansion, which was sometime around the 1970s. Even though it opened in the 1970s, this Kmart ended up closing in 1986. And after it closed in 1986, it became a Builders Square. Which, did you guys know that Kmart owned Builders Square? Yeah, what a lot of people forget is that Kmart actually owned Builders Square. They bought the home improvement chain in 1984 to compete with the rise of Home Depot. Now, instead of abandoning a hard-to-reach, isolated Southside property, Kmart Corporate just flipped the building into its other experimental brand. And apparently, locals around here said that there was a Ponderosa Steakhouse nearby that they would grab a bite to eat. That's nostalgic in itself. Do you guys remember Ponderosa? Imagine going to Kmart and Ponderosa at the same day. Not anymore. So this was actually a giant flea market after it closed, after the Builders Square went away. And the giant flea market was like from the mid-1990s to the mid-2000s. That didn't last long either. The building eventually transitioned entirely out of retail and was used as a corporate warehouse space for local distributors such as Vision Beverages. Now in July of 2023, this building was bought out by Rexing Companies, which is a regional logistics supply chain. The location of this Kmart was not ideal. It wasn't great for Evansville. See, when it originally opened, it sat directly exposed to high traffic coming across the river. However, subsequent highway developments, specifically the construction of the bypass system, it effectively cut off direct access to this Kmart location right here. So that's why it closed so early. And we're also on the south side. Yeah, this is the south side of Evansville, and there's really not much like retail down here or anything. And what was here, because you know, driving down through here, there's not really a lot left. This isn't really the hustle bustle area for commercial retail. So the Kmart in this location did close down for that reason, and then it just kind of, everything around kind of started closing down as well. I cannot pass up looking through these windows real quick. Please go to the other side of building on Independence Avenue for entrance. So this was the old entrance. Closed off, and no telling how long it's been closed off for. But it's, can't really see too much, unfortunately. Well, you can see a little bit. Yeah, they did some renovation for sure, because like I said, this was used for other things. I wish I was here back when it was a flea market, because then we could have got inside. Trying to see in the building though, you kind of can see. Is there anything notable in there? I don't think so. Yeah, unfortunately, just not too much to see anymore, but it never hurts to look through the doors anyways. There's a dead bird in this one. He's right here, but I won't zoom in on him. Just for those of you who don't want to see a dead bird. There's still some remnants of Kmart in there, I'm sure, but seeing through these foggy, dirty doors is proving to be kind of difficult. You can see the entryway that they put like a door in and all that. That's interesting. Huh, okay. Well, not quite sure if it is or not, but maybe the garden center at one point over here. See the large overhead area, and just that's what it makes me think of, you know, seeing that it is a Kmart, so. There was another Kmart, and this would be the second Kmart opened around the same time. Let's go to that one. And now we're at the second location, and this is what I'm talking about. Look at that, guys. There we go. So this is the Kmart on 2300 East Morgan Avenue, and this one opened in the mid-1970s during Kmart's massive Midwestern expansion strategy, and it closed in 1991 as part of a highly coordinated regional strategy by Kmart Corporate. Now, in 1991, Kmart opened a massive cutting-edge super Kmart center in Evansville, and to funnel the traffic to this new megastore, corporate simultaneously shut down both the other Evansville locations. The property was acquired by Rural King almost immediately after the Kmart closure, and because farm and home supply stores prefer raw industrial layouts, Rural King did almost zero structural remodeling to the interior or exterior. Which means that for decades, walking into the Morgan Avenue Rural King felt exactly like walking through a ghost version of a 1970s Kmart, right down to the preserved layout divisions. Local lore even points out that the exterior parking lot asphalt went decades without a full corporate resurfacing, leaving decades old remnants of the original Kmart layout frozen in time. Peeking around at this, let me show you. They got these old lighting fixtures here. These look really old, and these were probably there when Kmart started. Yeah. You could just tell based on this building, they really didn't touch it much. I was actually trying to see if that the little label scar behind Rural King said Kmart. I'm not sure if it, I can't tell if it does. I don't think it does. I think it might have been like a earlier label scar of Rural King right here. But nonetheless, this is an old school Kmart that's barely been touched. And that is really cool to see. There's definitely more to explore to this location though, being that they didn't do too much when they rebranded it. Look, battery install. They got the car bays here, so definitely this Kmart had an auto center. Is this, okay, any of you guys, do you know battery install? Is that from Kmart or did Rural King put that there? Huh. Interesting. But I bet you, yeah, this was also an auto center, and that's why these overhead doors are here. There's a shipping area over here as well. Garden center, if they had one, might have been over here, but since I'm also assuming the auto center was over here, I don't know if I am correct about either or both or neither. But it's a guess. It really is a guess. And this is the back. Nothing too exciting. Just a really damaged road. I was hoping I could see like an old Kmart sign or something back here, but there is nothing, unfortunately. This was a big building for sure. And here we are, back at the front. Anyways, guys, let's move on to the third and final location. We've done enough exploring of this one. And here was the third and final Kmart in Evansville, Indiana. Obviously, not one anymore. That goes without saying. You know, while we love when the Kmart buildings remain the same and you can tell that it used to be a Kmart, sometimes it's just not the case. But the Kmart that was here opened in 1991. Now, this wasn't a standard everyday Kmart. It was built as a massive super Kmart center. It was a sprawling 24-hour retail powerhouse that combined a traditional discount department store with a full-scale, upscale grocery store, including a bakery, deli, fresh meat counter, and seafood department, all under one roof. That's pretty crazy. It was a really big location. And yeah, this is the third and final location. They wanted to ensure that this new flagship location dominated the local market. So Kmart Corporate executed a highly strategic consolidated plan. They closed down both of Evansville older standard locations, you know, the other two that we just went to, specifically to funnel all of the city's Kmart traffic straight to this area over here. For nearly a decade, it fought head-to-head with the neighboring Meijer and Walmart supercenters. Kmart filed for a massive historic Chapter 11 bankruptcy in early 2002 after years of being squeezed out by Walmart's logistics chain and Target's trendier marketing. While the Evansville Super Kmart initially survived the first round of closures, the financial strain was too great. And on January 14th, 2003, corporate released a devastating second list of underperforming stores destined for liquidation. The 6200 East Lloyd Expressway Super Kmart Center was prominently on the list alongside several other major Indiana locations. This store wound down its final grocery and merchandise clearance sales and permanently shut its doors in the spring of 2003. And that marked the official end of Kmart's footprint here in Evansville, Indiana. Now, when this location was on the chopping block in 2003, everybody was actually surprised. You know, locals and employees alike. They thought that this location here on East Lloyd Expressway was actually super profitable. There's even rumors that the Kmart over here was on the top 5% of most profitable Kmart locations in the country. Now, because of its prime high visibility real estate directly along the booming Lloyd Expressway corridor, the massive building did not stay vacant for very long and was ultimately subdivided to host multiple major retail chains. A significant portion of the former Kmart footprint was taken over by apparel and home decor retailer Gordman, which anchored this section of the plaza for years until its parent company's bankruptcy and subsequent liquidation in 2017. Today, the primary footprint is anchored by a massive Dick's Sporting Goods location, maintaining the high traffic retail presence that Kmart first established on that plot back in 1991. And there is that massive Dick's Sporting Goods. Right there. Well, guys, that's the end of the deep dive into the Kmart history here in Evansville, Indiana. I hope you guys liked it. I know there's a lot of specific Kmart fans out there, so instead of adding Kmart into my Dead Retail Locations video that will be coming out soon here in Evansville, I figured Kmart needed its own separate video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this format, and if you did, make sure you leave a like, a comment, and a subscribe if you haven't already, and go to TayJayProductions.com to get some TayJay merch. Support your girl who also loves Kmart just like you do. And until the next one, guys, thank you. Bye-bye.